Hello, everybody. I am Val Jean, and this is my world, at least how I see it. If you are happy with this current administration, keep walking. This one's not for you. If you are not happy, come on in, get a seat. I'm trying to silence this. That's why I'm looking down. Um, we got things to do. We're fighting uphill with no weapons, but we're gonna get it done. We're gonna get it done. Um, Ooh, people, yeah, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And thank everybody for being patient. I had to go get my granddaughter off the bus. She's doing summer school this year, and they don't have their acts together yet. Yesterday I waited for her for an hour and a half before they dropped her off. And today they said they weren't going to bring her over here, that they were going to take her home. So I went over to her house and she called me and told me she was at my house almost because the bus driver wouldn't bring her to my house. She dropped her off on the corner down the hill. Holy smokes. But I got her. She's safe. I'm battling the spring yuck. I'll be okay. But let's get this party started. BB is here. How you doing? It is so good to see you. Yeah, and I left a little message that I was going to be late because I didn't know how long it was going to take me to find her, but I got her. Darcia, so good to see you. Oh, thank you so much. And there's our dear darling Sam. Yeah, girl, I'm tired. No, I'm coming down with the walking crud. I got my tea with my witch's brew in it. And I went to sleep last night with a hot toddy. And yeah, my daughter looked at me yesterday. She says, "You're red." And I said, "Oh." She said, "You're sick." And I'm like, "Well, yeah." So she sent me all these links for all of these medicinal teas. And I'm like, "Yeah, okay. I'm just going to go make another hot toddy." But as we know, there's craziness going on in our world. Thank you so much, Sam. Yeah, as soon as my daughter comes and picks up Shorty, I think I'm gonna go back to bed. I went and picked up some Mexican food yesterday because I thought it would be spicy enough to get my sinuses draining, and no, it wasn't. So I have to make something really, really spicy. I need to go get some Indian food. I might have some Indian peppers left in the refrigerator. I'll go check that out. I think I might have some hot sauce. We'll see. We'll see how I feel by the time my daughter gets here. Anyway, um, we talked a couple of weeks ago about our dear darling. Oh, before I start, in the description, there is a letter already written. All you have to do is copy and paste. The AARP mailed it to me to send to the senators and the congressmen. So I just typed it in the description, copy it, paste it, send it off. That's work number one. We talked about how Hakeem was not forceful enough, but they made him mad the other day. Darcia says the world is out of control. The flame blower set fire to the protesters and he was in front of a police station. But they didn't go to Kansas City and get the white supremacists. I'm like, just ignorant. Lord Jesus. Yeah, it's out of control. If you are black or brown, you cannot protest. If you are any kind of Caucasian with no accent, you can protest. Hi, Jen. That's fine. That's fine. Because I know none of this affects you directly. I just appreciate you being here. I really do. That is so sweet of you. But they got on Hakeem's nerves. And he started telling them about themselves, which for him is a major feat because we know Hakeem does not do a whole lot of anything when it comes to fighting back. Okay. So here we go. I got to get all my ducks in a row, and that ain't it. Okay. And the link for this is in the description. I did get my links in. Let me make sure I got this turned up so everybody can hear him. I don't think you're going to have a whole lot of trouble hearing him, but I want to make sure that everybody can hear our dear Hakeem actually stand up.
The largest cut to Medicaid in American history. That's not enough for the MAGA extremists. CBO has independently confirmed that this one big, ugly bill will also set in motion a $490 billion cut to Medicare in this country. Now, unfortunately, that should come as no surprise because
best and worst snacks for your waistline.
Number one, protein bars. The protein that's being used.
Michelle, I am sorry you were battling a headache. I feel your pain. You know I do. Yeah, this weather is horrible. It is really horrible. Let me get past this commercial, and then we will go back to Reese actually standing up. Dinky Jen, I am so sorry. I wanted to make sure you could hear him. I wasn't trying to blow your eardrums out. I know sometimes when they play clips on a live, the clips are very, very faint. Hold on, Hakeem. I gotta get back. Gotta get your sound back in. Okay, this is on the House floor. The Republicans have already done their side, and we don't need to listen to that BS because you know they're lying. Michelle, I agree. Girl, this is not the time for you to have a headache because you've got peace now. Okay.
Leagues for decades have been trying to attack Social Security as they're doing right now. Not necessarily in this bill. Why? Because the 1974 Budget Control Act prevents you from doing it. But you've been going after Social Security for a long time, going after Medicare for a long time, and Elon Musk, who seems to function as your puppet master, has made clear his intentions, which you just follow as if you work for him. Elon Musk wants to take a chainsaw to Social Security, a chainsaw to Medicare, as you're doing in this bill, a chainsaw to Medicaid, as you're doing in this bill. Here's our message to you and the American people. No matter how long it takes, House Democrats are going to take a chainsaw to Project 2025 because it's not in the best interest of the American people. And what this bill represents is your effort to try to put into law Project 2025. You acted like you didn't know anything about it. This is why you have no credibility right now. You spent all of last year lying to the American people, saying to them that you were going to lower the high cost of living. In fact, you're doing the exact opposite. At the same period of time, you acted like you knew nothing about Project 2025, and this bill is an effort to try to implement it into law. So you mentioned credibility issues, I think it exists on the right side of this chamber. Now, not only have you gone after Medicaid, not only have you gone after Medicare, in this,
you are to direct your comments to the chair.
Mr. Speaker, you know what's interesting is that every time I've come on this floor, I can use sharp language, he can use sharp language. You choose to admonish me. I don't work for you, sir. I work for the American people.
I understand. House will be in order. As I said, Mr. Leader, we've been very patient. Just listen to the majority leader of the other side who directed all of his comments to the chair. It is important for the decorum of the institution for you to do the same. You may proceed.
We can continue this.
You may proceed.
And every time I'm interrupted, that's going to add another 15 minutes to my remarks.
Fair enough.
Mr. Speaker. So what we've seen is the...
Did you see Hakeem stand to attention? He stood up straight and he's like, bruh, I don't work for you. I was like, yeah, Hakeem, yeah. He was like, you know what? Does anybody know who that gentleman is behind Hakeem in the black shirt? I think this is the second time I have seen him. I have no idea who he is. Oh, you've seen it, Darcia. There is much more on this clip. This clip is 37 minutes long. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I wanted everybody to see Hakeem get a backbone because he was mad. We had, I got several clips from Jasmine. I have seen four of her interviews from this one particular night. She's got several more I haven't seen. I think she just went from station to station to station and she talked to everybody this one particular night, and you can tell because she's wearing the same clothes. Hi, Dinky Jen, how are you? Divert Crystal, Lord have mercy. Yeah, we're doing that one last because we got no homework for that. That is part of their keep us dumb and this we'll get there. I got my tabs open here. We'll get there. I don't know, VJ, but I have heard that man speak on the floor, and oh boy, he talks straight. You know, Sam, that there are days. See, this is the problem we're having right now. Like Comer said, you have to use proper decorum. Hakeem is all about the decorum, but you can't fight these MAGA nuts with decorum. You got to get down in the dirt with them and let them know you're not scared of them and you're going to fight back. But I can respect Hakeem and his quest for decorum and being proper. Growing up, my father stressed to us that we had to elevate our speech and not resort to curse words. That's why I have to call my daughter and have her curse for me because I didn't learn how to curse. And even though I taught her better, yeah, no, she didn't keep up with it. She's bad. But yeah, I got her taking care of me. And Crystal, I apologize again for calling you DC. I saw the D and it just I'm not well today. I understand, Hakeem, but do you, sir? He's like, I understand. He's like, every time you interrupt me, I'm getting 15 more minutes. I have looked at this, but I don't remember how many more times he was interrupted. Crystal says they also discontinuing Women's Apprenticeships and Non-Traditional Occupations Act. I had not seen that one. They've got a lot of things in this resolution bill that have nothing to do with the budget. And that's one of the problems I have. They pack a whole lot of things into one bill. So if you vote for what you want, you got a whole bunch of garbage on the back end that you didn't want. BB, welcome back. Thank you for being here. So they had two Republicans that voted with the Democrat side. One of them just voted present, and we are 6 down. Roberta, welcome in. Good to see you, sweetheart. How are you feeling today? So that's Hakeem. And then there's some that didn't even read the whole bill, because the bill is 1,000 pages long. Nobody's going to sit there and read 1,000 pages. So they end up voting for things that their constituents don't really want, because they haven't read it. But if you vote against it, the whole bill is done. We need to get the senators to vote against this bill, which will take it back to the House, and they will have to rewrite the bill, which I'm okay with. I don't remember who said it, so I'm going to shut up and we'll see who says. I think it was Hakeem who told them that what they need was a bipartisan bill. This bill, the Republicans all worked on this bill. They didn't ask the Democrats anything. They did not pull them into meetings. They did nothing. And the Democrats want to say, because this bill is ignorant, it's ugly, it's Project 2025, and it's like, no. That's why the guy wanted it all in one and rushed it. No one can read through it, right? Nobody. And this vote was done at 1:00 in the morning. They kept doing it on off times, hoping everybody didn't show up. So not everybody got a chance to vote. It was dirty. It was dirty. But then we have my girlfriend here, who should have been really tired, because, like I said, she did like 5 or 6 interviews. I've seen 3 of them. I got to look at this last one, but she's been out here rolling.
Possible impacts to Medicaid and to SNAP. Let's talk about Medicaid. What does this bill as is do to Medicaid?
So here's the deal. They are trying to shift a lot of the burden on a lot of these programs to the states, right? And so the states have their own budgets. And granted, Texas, we tend to be in the overflow on our budgets. That doesn't necessarily happen in most states. But just imagine what happens when your car breaks down unexpectedly. You've got all your bills laid out, and then all of a sudden you get hit with this big bill to fix your car. And it's like, wait a minute, that wasn't in the plan, that wasn't in the budget. So something is going to fall by the wayside. And that's exactly what we absolutely anticipate is going to happen when it comes to Medicaid as well as SNAP benefits. They're like, oh no, we're just making the states do a little bit more and that kind of stuff, but it's not in their budget. It's not part of their plan. And the reality is that people are paying into a federal system. And so it's like, well, what are we using these federal dollars for if you aren't going to pay for some of the basics? You know, in this budget or this reconciliation bill, they want to take defense spending, which I spent a lot of time talking about, if we really wanted to look for some cuts that won't necessarily harm our constituents, we should start with defense. Well, they want to take defense spending up to $1 trillion. That doesn't make sense. Like, if SNAP and if Medicaid were having so many problems with their auditing process that they could not pass no matter what, guess what? I don't anticipate they'd be like, oh, throw more money into it. But that's what they do with defense. And it doesn't make sense, because the only people that benefit out of defense are a lot of people that do these big government contracts. And again, I made it clear that Elon Musk, the vast majority of the money that he gets from the federal government, it comes from the defense ledger. So imagine that. The thing that doesn't go down in the entire budget is defense. The other thing that I didn't talk about that won't go down is DHS. And so they decided to add literally hundreds of millions. I don't know if it was hundreds of millions. It was some millions, though, for sure, of dollars into ICE, specifically for them to get bonuses. And when we averaged out this amount of money that they were putting into ICE, we averaged it out based upon how many people actually work for ICE. Do you know that it would amount to approximately $42,000 worth of a bonus for every single person at ICE? And when we were having this debate and this markup in judiciary about that, I pointed out that the lowest paid person on the Hill, who had actually probably been sitting in that room, that committee room, all day long at that point, was only getting $45,000 for their entire salary. That is the lowest amount that we can pay somebody on the Hill. So you're telling me that the very people that are doing the hard work, working for us every single day, the least amount that we can pay somebody is $45,000, and you're going to give these people that are going out, busting people's windows, grabbing up U.S. citizens, grabbing up kids with cancer, all this kind of stuff, you're going to give them on average a bonus of $42,000? Now, that's what waste looks like to me. That's not efficient use of government resources, especially when you're saying, you know what, that $6 a day to eat that people get in SNAP benefits, we just need to cut that, while also giving $42,000 worth of a bonus to ICE. Or the fact that the president has spent, last I knew that we had tracked, was like $40 million just to go golfing, to go down to his own place at Mar-a-Lago. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, it's just about a lack of priorities on people in this reconciliation.
Where can both sides come together on some type of, you mentioned possibly reducing defense spending. That likely is not going to happen, honestly, right? So what can both sides come together on to try to make reductions in the budget?
Yeah, well, first of all, they are increasing defense spending. They don't have to increase it. It gets increased all the time. It just got increased within the last congressional session. So like, they don't have to increase it. There is no need to increase it, especially since we're already having a problem with recruiting people who want to go into the military in the first place. Like, we can have all the planes and trains and buses and boats. We can have all the things, but if ain't nobody gonna be on them to run them, what is the point, right? So that's number one. And if we were gonna make investments, we should be making investments in trying to get people to say, you know what, I actually want to serve. But when you've got a commander in chief that goes into West Point and starts talking about trophy wives and just is all over the place and talking about himself and his numerous investigations and reminding them that he is not qualified in the first place to be our commander in chief, instead of encouraging them, instead of telling them, you know what, you are the elite, and we are so proud of you, and we are so thankful for you. And we know that patriotism is at the top of everything that you do, because this is what you decided you wanted to do with your life. Instead of actually pouring into them, he decided, you know what, I'm going to lie to them about why it is that I can't stay and shake their hands and thank them for being willing to serve, because he really wanted to go down and again, go waste more tax dollars down at Mar-a-Lago. So I think that we could, number one, not increase spending in defense. And we honestly should have something in law that says if defense continues to fail their audits, there will not be an increase. And in fact, we probably should say for every failed audit, we are going to decrease a certain percentage, a minimal percentage, because we still have to remain safe, but a minimal percentage. we're going to decrease it so that they have some kind of incentive to actually get through an actual audit. They have no incentive at this point. So that's number one. Number two, what we could do is decide that we are not going to try to take these tax cuts that Trump initiated when he was in office the first time and further those tax cuts and deepen those tax cuts. We could say, you know what, we're just going to roll it back. And when people talk about, oh, the last time we had a balanced budget, that was under a Democrat, it was under Clinton. And you know what? These were not the tax rates that people had to pay. Those people at the top had to pay more money into the system. And guess what? We were able to balance the budget without cutting people out of life-saving resources. So I think that that's another place that we could possibly get somewhere. I can tell you that in listening to some of these senators, they are concerned, you know, whether you're talking about Rand Paul, Ron Johnson, and I think you could probably maybe venture over to Iowa and maybe a few other places, maybe up to Alaska. I think that there are going to be a number of senators that ultimately will come out, especially in these very rural states. You have to understand that when you start to say things like we're going to cut Medicaid, the reason that when we look at rural Texas, why they have historically had rural hospitals that have been getting shuttered, it is because we failed to expand on the state level when it came down to Medicaid. And so therefore, that's a lack of resources that are available for these rural hospitals. Well, guess what? In these states that did expand, in these very rural states, you're talking about people whose life expectancy, say in the rural parts of their states, may go down tremendously because there may not even be a hospital there because they just won't have the funds to stay afloat. And I think that those senators who aren't just working within one little district that may not even have a hospital in that district, they are concerned because they understand the bigger picture when they look at the entire state. And when what I have said over and over so many times, it is rural America that uses more SNAP benefits than it
is. And it's red states that need more resources than the blue states. But who did the red states vote for? And the VP told them this is what he's going to do. And by golly, he did it, even though he said, oh, I don't know anything about Project 2025. They are using Paul Ryan's plans to privatize Medicare and get rid of Medicaid. And they only want to cover children down to 7, where they used to cover them from infancy to 18. They only want to cover them to 7. So an 8-year-old is not supposed to eat and have medical care. They say that the orange one did too, but I can buy Cracker Jacks and get the same value. Ooh, my cousin's in rare form today. You're just saying. I want to see both transcripts, girl. AI generated diplomas. And if you know that you may not get VA benefits, that they don't want Blacks or trans in the military or women, of course your numbers are going to be down. And when you come out of your combat and you think you're going to be a general and you're going to get a government position, unless you work for Fox News, you got nothing coming. Laurie, welcome in. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. Yeah, I love me some Jasmine Crockett. I really, really do. I really do. And she was on a roll this particular evening. Hold on just a minute. Now my daughter's calling. Why is she calling me? Sorry about that. Sam says the guy behind Hakeem might be Al Green. It's not Al Green. Nope, it's not Al Green. That's why I didn't know who he was. Yeah, no. Close though. I don't know who he was. Oh, okay. He is awesome. Loved how he ripped shreds off. Didn't one of Trump's professors say he was the dumbest student he ever had? I had not heard that, but I bet he was. I bet he was. I can't believe he's a college grad in business because he's as dumb as a box of rocks. Hi, Granny. How you doing? Thank you for coming in. How you doing? We're battling the budget. We've got a letter in the description. Just copy and paste, please. I have heard that, Roberta, if it was verified, it might have been an interview, though. Okay. Yes, he did. See. So yeah, we've got a I really, really, really hope that the Senate kicks it back and that Mike Johnson has zero backbone, zero morals, and he doesn't care at all about his constituents. Even if he gets the bill back, he might not ask the Democrats for, bipartisan resolution. He's just going to try to put it through again. What's not to love? Right. Love her too. Ann Al Green, Cory Booker, Hakeem, AOC, Raskin. I love Greg Casar and Maxwell Frost. I love me some Maxwell Frost. Him got into trouble for calling the man the grifter in chief. And they said, hey, do you want to take that out of the record? He's like, no. They said, well, you're going to have to leave. And he says, okay. So he walked. They said he couldn't stay. And he said he was not taking the words out. He says, I'm standing by what I said. I was like, come on, Maxwell. You're like, yeah, the grifter in chief. And he's like, you can't say that. And he's like, he changed one word. I don't remember the one word he changed, but he didn't take the whole thing down. He says, nope, I want it in the record. Right, Laurie? He got kicked out for speaking the truth. Yes, he did. He packed up his stuff and got up and walked out. They told him he couldn't stay. He says, okay, I'm leaving it in the record. I was like, go ahead, Maxwell. Sometimes you have to have a little integrity. You really do. You can't blow smoke and just, you gotta have some backbone. You really, 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 really do. I'm glad everybody loves Jasmine because Jasmine was busy this particular night. And like I said, you can tell because she was wearing the same clothes, but girlfriend was out there taking names.
It is urban America. And I know that these senators, especially from these...
Oh, sorry, wrong one. So sorry. Did it switch over? Yes. Okay.
I'm going to diverge for just a second. All right. The last time we talked, you asked me about Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. You asked me about SNAP. You asked me about these things.
Absolutely.
And you told me that they said that the Democrats were not telling the truth. Well, here we are. And at least the House version of the bill has these cuts, and now they're having to talk about it. So I say, just go and look at their record for telling the truth or not. They lied before, they're lying now, okay?
So
they
what
said that
they're
there
saying
weren't.
is not true.
It is not true. What it is they have decided that they need to somehow figure out how they are going to bring in some of the spending. And I say it that way, and the reason that I hesitate is because of this. You dealt with three main committees in this bill. Let me just break it down that way. There's a lot of other, we all went through our markups, but there's three main committees. You dealt with Ways and Means that deals with all the taxation, which also is our income. That's where we get our money from, right? So your income tax rate is determined that way. That's how we know how much money we're going to have coming in, okay? Then they dealt with the Agriculture Committee, which is where the SNAP benefits ended up being depleted. And then they dealt with Energy and Commerce, which is where they dealt with the Medicaid. And they kept saying, they lied. And it was like, no, in the House resolution budget, or the House budget resolution that was passed when y'all were saying it, like, the only place you could get the cuts is if you went to Medicaid. They lied and said they're not going to Medicaid. They went to Medicaid, right? And the thing is, they are trying to use that to justify the tax cuts that they have built in for the ultra wealthy. But here's the problem, Jack. They still got to raise the debt ceiling because it's not a one-to-one. So just imagine that you make $100,000 a year, right? And you're saying, you know what? I'm going to reduce my income. I don't want to make $100,000 anymore. Let's drop this down to $50,000 a year.
Not sure if you saw the news, but Fox News is claiming President Trump is declining in the polls. President Trump responded and says Fox News polls can't be trusted.
See, she's going to break it down for us, but we're going to have to get past the commercial. Lovely commercials. Okay. But yeah, wait. Hold on. As always, Jasmine's on point. And all of these links are in the description, because all of these are like half-hour, 40-minute clips. And I know you wouldn't want to sit here for all of that, even though I've sat through them all and gone back a couple of times to get an understanding of it. Roberta says it's actually a rule that you can't say bad things about Trump in the House. Yeah. I love Jasmine from the get-go. She's just on the ball and stands up for us. Yes, it is. They are desperate to pass this because the billionaires' tax breaks ends in August. Exactly. And they don't care about us.
Just imagine that you make $100,000 a year, right? And you're saying, you know what? I'm going to reduce my income. I don't want to make $100,000 anymore. Let's drop this down to $50,000 a year. But my bills, right? My bills were set out, and they actually probably were still going over that $100,000 a year, right? But now it's like, well, I got to cut it down so it's not so bad. So they decide, you know what? We're going to go ahead and cut down some of our bills, which is what they did. And one of our largest bills is Medicaid. That is absolutely true. So they decided, let us just go ahead and take an axe to Medicaid, okay? So they did that, but here's the problem. They still have bills that are over the 50,000. So they just didn't want to make it seem like it was that bad. So really true fiscal conservative Republicans are like, I can't vote for this because you still want to raise the debt ceiling $5 trillion. So here's the deal. You ended up cutting everybody off their health care. You're cutting people off of access to food. And at the end of the day, you still don't have anything to show for it because you still are like, wait a minute, let's raise the debt ceiling. So why is it that we're inflicting all this harm? If we're going to raise the debt ceiling anyway, go ahead and let people have health care. But they don't want to do that. And so if they really wanted to be serious about this, we will be having conversations about defense and defense spending. And we would talk about the fact that they are now trying to raise the spending in defense to $1 trillion. Every single budget, we are constantly pushing up the numbers for defense. But you know who can't pass a clean audit? Defense. They have failed the last 7 audits that they've had. Now, you tell me, if I keep failing audits and I go to the bank and say, I need more and more and more, do you think they're going to give it to me? They're not. But that's exactly what they're doing. And you can go and find more and more of the big dollar items, right? Like right now, they've decided to go after something that they went after the penny candy, right? $6 per person for SNAP benefits, instead of going after that fancy dress that you would go get from Neiman Marcus. That is what they have decided. So they're like, well, let's get all the pennies together and let's cut a whole bunch of people, when you could just say, you know what? You don't get this fancy dress over here. That's what they should do. And that's what defense is.
I was just going to ask you, but this is the first time defense spending has actually gone up. It's been cut under the Biden administration.
It went up for sure. One of the things that we dealt with when we were trying to get the debt ceiling raised before under Biden, but Republicans controlled the House, is in that negotiation, when we were dealing with the debt ceiling, they decided to deal with the budget itself in that moment, which was really conflating the two issues because they were separate. And one of the agreements was we will raise the debt ceiling so long as you raise defense spending, which his budget proposal actually raised it as well. Not as aggressively, for sure. And there was a provision if we didn't meet certain timelines, that there would be these little cuts. And we did miss some of those deadlines. So I don't know what the net result ultimately ended up being, but there was an agreement that actually gave them more and gave non-defense less.
Well, if we were at war, that would be a bad thing. But since we're not at war, I think defense needs to budget their books. What does everybody else think? And I'm like Jasmine, every year you don't balance your books, you need to get a penalty. We may actually need that defense budget. Yes, that is sarcasm, girl. And why do you need a bigger budget when you have less people? Taco Man. Yep, that's what they call him. And then somebody said nacho, and I forgot what the nacho was for. It's on my Facebook page. But yeah, it's I like the way she explained the budget part, because everything that they've done, everybody they have fired, all of the grief that has been inflicted upon the American people, it was a drop in the bucket. And she said, we have hungry people here in America, but we have USAID food in warehouses rotting. And I wrote to the senators and asked them, why don't you distribute that among the American people? Since you don't want to send it overseas, give it to the hungry people here. They'd rather see it rot than benefit somebody. But that's supposed to make America great again. Roberta says, Darcia, they are calling AF1 Panda Express because it has orange chicken in it. Yes, I saw that. Yes. I enjoyed that one. I enjoyed that one. I actually understood it. I had to explain it to my daughter because she didn't get it. And I'm like, look, as many times as you've been to Panda Express, you don't get it. As I drowned myself, I didn't realize I had so much tea left. I do that on a regular basis. Are you laughing at me for drowning myself? It's all right. I've been drowned, at least it was clear. I've been drowned by red stuff and all other kinds of things. It's so embarrassing. My father used to tell me I had a hole in my lip. So, last but certainly not least, why is this? What is this about? Oh, Jasmine was even talking about impeachment. I just looked upon that as I had to go get Shorty, so I have not seen it, and we weren't discussing impeachment today, but this is Jasmine talking about impeachment. And the only problem I have with it is that we would get J.D. Vance. So how is that going to benefit us? If we impeach Trump and did not get Vance and did not get Mike Johnson, it might be worth it. But if we get J.D. Vance, I mean, what's the point? He's as big a worm as Trump is. It's all fast food foolishness, and we need a diet. Well, yeah. So, let me move out the way. I was looking at, they talked about the first-year senator out of one impeachment. So I was trying to see what was the purpose of closing Job Corps, except for the fact that it, helped low-income people and homeless youth. And here's the thing, they said they're taking everybody off Medicaid because if you're an able-bodied person, you need to go to work. But then you close the program that gives the people the skills and the employment so they can go to work. But here is, and this is from dol.gov. They say that the Job Corps program has faced significant financial challenges under its current operating structure. In PY 2024, the program operated at a $140 million deficit, requiring the Biden administration to implement a pause in certain operations to complete the program year. The deficit is projected to reach $213 million in program year 2025. So on April the 25th, the Department's Employment and Training Administration released the first ever Job Corps Transparency Report, which analyzed the financial performance and operational costs of the most recently available metrics of program year 2023. A summary of the overall findings. Average graduation rate, 38.6%. Average cost per student, $80,284.65, and that's per year. Average total cost per graduate, $155,600.74. Post-separation, participants earned $16,695 annually on average. The total number of serious incident reports for program year 2023 was 14,913 infractions. Inappropriate sexual behavior and sexual assaults, 372. Acts of violence reported, 1,746. Breaches of safety or security, 1,167. Reported drug use, 2,702. Total hospital visits, 1,808. So I agree that there were problems with the program. Why not address the problems? Find ways to cut costs instead of closing the whole daggum program. I didn't either. I thought it was state run. And here's the other thing. If the government closes it down, can the states open it up? Because it's a worthwhile program, but it needs to be run more efficiently. I think like a dusty orange. No, think like a dusty orange. Add to the military budget so when you force the country into war, civil or otherwise, you have an arsenal to fight. The overall goal is to stay in office, to not go to jail. Trump has done one good thing, and I think Dinky might agree. Because of him, both our countries voted in left parties. In my country case, it was a in my county, in my country's case, it was a landslide. Yeah, nobody wants to end up like, yeah. And remember, we did that. It was Canada, the UK. Was it France? Austria and Australia voted in lefts. Kudos. Roberta says, that's what I was getting at, Michelle. He's got all countries talking about building a wall and paying for it. And if we took the 80 million he has spent on golf, on playing golf, it would reduce some of the spending in the Job Corps. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Because that's the waste, fraud, and abuse. And we've talked about that before. But if the children have dropped out of school for whatever reason, and they want to get a trade and a job, then we should encourage that and not close the programs. See, they want all these people to have these babies, but they don't give you any kind of assistance in caring for these babies to keep us inside our own country. Good Lord. Can you imagine Europe with walls between each country? Well, you know, Reagan had them tear down the Great Wall of China. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But that's like a abusive spouse. He alienates you from all of your allies so that you can't get any help when you're being abused. Around the U.S. Good Lord. Oh, yeah, and the Berlin Wall. I had forgotten about that. Yes, and the Berlin Wall. The Great Wall of China. Yep. Yep. So, no, it's... and then he's spending, I forgot how many millions of dollars on this stupid parade for June the 14th. And I'm surprised that nobody voted that down. And I still don't know if Congress holds the power of the purse, where is he getting the money for all of these extravagances? Because Congress isn't paying for it. So where's the money coming from? Somebody tell me who's writing the checks. I don't get it. I don't understand how this works. I don't know, but it's not good. It's not good for the country. It's not good for those of us down here. The only ones reaping any benefits are the millionaires and billionaires, and they already have money. BB says Republicans in Senate and Congress are scared of him. Yes, they are. They are scared of him. And they were, because when Trump was, when he won before inauguration, Musk went on asked and wrote that anybody who goes against him or Trump, he would primary. So everybody was afraid of losing their seat. Since he lost that judge seat in Wisconsin, he said he wasn't putting any more money into politics. He was moving on to something else. So I don't see Trump spending his own money to primary anybody. But the voters have to get a spine and actually get up and go out and vote, because they see what happened last time when they stayed home. Yes, I have decided I am suffering from Trump fatigue syndrome, and I am suing my Republican senator for it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, I love it. And I've got 2 Republican senators and a Republican governor, so I got no hope. I've got no hope. From other countries that wanted him to win, girl. Oh, I forgot about them. I forgot about them. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we should all do that. Could we make it a class action suit? Just everybody sign their name. Jen is telling Sam, yes, the country voted Labor left, but me and Mom voted Reform, a new party. Mom is for Trump because he is friends with Nigel Farage. I am against Trump. Who's Nigel Farage? BB says, I'm voting on June the 16th for a new mayor. I'm tired of Eric Adams. Girl, honey, get all of your friends. Put it out there on your Facebook page. Make sure everybody is registered to vote and have them take their little happy tails to the ballot box. Because, yeah, he's scum. Mark Elias said, we have a case if several thousand will sign on. I'll sign on. Is, I can see his face and I can't think of his name. It's not Cohen. Who's the other guy? Anyway, is it his company? Oh, Farage, the king of Europe. Oh. Laurie says, I feel like Trump comes off like a mob. That's what he wants to do. That's what he wants to be. Because he grew up in New York. And, he's always talking about Al Capone. He thinks he's the Godfather. And that all these other people are his lieutenants. That's what he thinks. Roberta says, Laurie, he has started to he's been disappearing people. UK's answer to dun 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 dun. Trump had Farage speak on his behalf at a rally in which Farage said Trump was the bravest man ever, and Trump called Farage a king. He isn't. Help me. Oh, it's Mark Elias's firm, Democracy Docket. Okay. Because I know the other one started a firm to sue Trump for everything that he's been doing. And I can look at his face. Michael Popak. That's him. I'm like, I can see his face, but his name's not coming to me. Michael Popak started Popak Legals, Popak something. And they're taking government cases because he cannot stand Trump. Michael Cohen used to work for Trump in the first administration, and he got out. Oh, thank you. Yes, Legal. Well, Legal AF is his YouTube channel. Is that his law firm too now? He's on with the Midas Touch Network. You can insert your name after the dots. I'm staying zipped. Okay. Well, all, it is 3:00. I want to thank you all for spending this last hour with me. You could have spent it anywhere, but you chose to spend it with me, and I do not take it lightly. We have got he does, Laurie. He does. He knows his stuff. I can only listen to him in small snippets because he will break it down and dissect him, and my legal brain my legal brain can't handle all of that. So I listen to about the first 5 or 10 minutes of it, and then I'm done. Same thing with Michael Cohen. Mark Elias, I can give him 15 minutes. Ben, I have started giving 5 to 10 minutes because he keeps repeating himself. And I'm like, Ben, you said that on the last one, Ben Marcellus. And he's teaching now. I think he gave up his law license. Not enough time in the day, girl. But see, they're doing all this other stuff, trying to keep us from seeing what they're actually doing on the ground. I don't think Trump will ever go to prison because he's 80 years old. You can't do Michael Cohen. Yeah, about 5 or 10 minutes, I'm done with him. Got to bring it down for me a little bit. It can be overwhelming. It can. And since they started all this, oh, I forgot the other thing. Musk is out of office, but Doge is still running around doing things. They did not close down the Doge office. So, has anybody vetted these guys? Because they were not hired through the government. Have they applied? That needs to be another one of our letters. And remember, each topic gets its own letter. We don't bunch them all together. We're flooding their mailboxes. But has anybody vetted these boys? Because Musk brought them in. They weren't hired. And all of a sudden they're getting paid, but they weren't hired. You can't do Cohen either. Laurie says, do you listen to Brian? Yeah, Brian's good. I think that's his name. He's pretty good. I listen to Brian, Adam Mockler, Luke Beasley. I'm missing one. What's that baby's name? Cuccicelli. Was it Jack? I want to say Jack. I'm looking at his face. I'm going to say Jack Cuccicelli. And I like John Irandarolo from the Damage Report. I have to look at these Italian names to sound them out correctly, because there's too many letters in there. Yes, Laurie, I was with him from the beginning. Really? It is Jack. Look at me. I remembered something with a cold. Oh, I saw that you sent me a video, but I haven't had a chance to look at it because I was dealing with Shorty. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Would be funny if they got a letter. They used to explain 5 things they did this week. The board told Musk that he had to come in and work a 40-hour week. And that's what I said. Is he going to have to write a letter for 5 things he got accomplished this week? Oh, granny, yeah, you know I love me some Reese. Reese was on today talking about those, they aren't Nazis, they're somebody else, but they were in Kansas City. And I had to look at it to see which one. It was in Missouri. So it was on the other side of the state because there's only, I think, only 3 of our cities voted blue. It was KC, St. Louis, and Springfield. Everybody else voted red. So they went to KC. Jack is correct. You listen to pretty much the same people I listen to. Okay, yeah. And I like Tabitha Speaks Politics. And sometimes I listen to I've Had It. But if it's something big, and I like Tennessee Brando. He's funny, but he gets right to the point. And there's somebody else I've started watching. He's really good. Sometimes I watch Fair and Balanced. What's the baby's name? It's not Baby either. He's an older guy. It's because he will tell you what's going on, and he will dox people. So when he's fed up with what people are doing, he will put their phone numbers on the screen and say, now you can call so-and-so, so-and-so. I don't know where you're going to get their number from, but you call your representative or call whoever the person is and tell them, XYZ. What's his name? Because, see, I really like him. And he's got good intel. Jesse Dollamore. Oh my gosh. And most of his clips are like 10, 15 minutes long. They're not really long, but he hits the nail on the head. I like Jesse. So yeah, and then I do the damage report, and everybody says don't look at TYT, the Young Turks, because they're not accurate. I definitely don't do Fox News unless it's Fox News out of another city. Did he graduate? Oh, yay. Good for Jack. You were watching the Joy Reid show. I like Joy. And then, of course, I've started watching all of the congresspersons because they all have YouTube channels. So I've been watching my favorites, Greg Casar and Jasmine AOC, Ayanna Presley. When she comes on, she doesn't come on often. Bell is usually on Facebook, and I don't go to Facebook that often, and he's mine. I told him to start a YouTube channel. Apparently he hasn't gotten that email yet because he's still on Facebook. I just started looking at Belle. Yes, I like Belle. I just started looking at her, and Naughty Nana Does. She's in Canada, and she's really good, and she calls him Donnie. Listen, Donnie. No, I haven't seen Hal Sparks. I'll have to look for him. I have not seen him. Yeah, but Naughty Nana Does is good, as is Tabitha Speaks Politics, though she does curse. Hal Sparks. Okay. The politics girl. I have not seen her either. No. Politics. Now, Reese Waters has guest co-hosts on his shows on Tuesday evenings. I think it's 8 Eastern. And sometimes I will subscribe to their channels if they're really good. There's just so many. David Feldman. That sounds like that actor. Oh, they also have a podcast. I can only take Don Lemon in small doses. And it's the same with Roland Martin. I can only take Roland Martin in small doses. And I guess other people have told him that as well, because instead of having this hour-long rant, he has started breaking it up into 10-minute segments, which I like better. I have not looked at the damage report lately because he's been going on for like an hour or 2 hours from noon to 2. And that's at the time when I'm, doing research or doing whatever. I'm sorry. I like the Revenge, the HOA, Reese, and then I scroll through everybody else to see what they're doing, because if it's something big, they all do the same things. Yes, they have different takes on it and different viewpoints of it, but after a while, it just gets to be too much. And as Don Lemon says, turn off the TV. So I've gotten into the Revenge and everything. And then, like I said, last week, I discovered The Librarian. I have really enjoyed those. Plus, I have to start spending more time on Duolingo. My streak is still going, but I have to do more. Katie Fang is now with is she? I like her. I like her. And I like Sharon. What is Sharon's last name? The one with the blonde hair. Not coming to me. But she's on with the damage report. I like her too. Yeah, so they've got some good ones out here. Katie, I really like. Yeah, I like her too. Oh yes, I like Lawrence O'Donnell and Rachel Maddow. I really like Rachel because she gets frustrated with the same things I'm frustrated with. I like Stephen Colbert's monologue. And I never was a Jon Stewart fan, but he has really stepped his game up. And he makes it like a comedy, but he hits the nail on the head. And it wasn't until my brother was here last September and he says, well, I pull up Jon Stewart because he's who I follow. So, he's a guest. So I pull up Jon Stewart and it's like, he's not bad. So yeah, I've started doing John. Yeah, I love Lawrence O'Donnell, but yeah, I've started doing Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert. Every now and then I'll do Jimmy Kimmel. I don't like him as well. I don't like him as well. Yep. I like Lawrence and Rachel, and Rachel's got that dry sense of humor because she's like, why? I'm like, yes, why? And somebody asked me why. Somebody tell me how this makes sense and why anybody would let them do this. Rachel Maddow, yes, she does. She gives the rest of the story. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. And Joy's show, Read In, Read Out, is okay. I did not know that she was the same person as was on MSNBC, because the Read In, Read Out doesn't really move me for whatever reason. I don't know why. I like Kimmel because of the feud with Trump. There is that. There is that. Yeah. Anybody who has a feud with Trump is aces in my book, but ooh. And I don't understand why more people don't have feuds with Trump. I really don't. I don't understand how their conscience will let them do that. Bend the knee, kiss the ring. Come on now. Don't you have any kind of integrity? Oh no, they don't. Silly me. Never mind. I got the answer. That's okay. I got the answer. I knew it was out there somewhere. I like Kimball. You okay, yeah. It's yeah. So if you're a pedophile or a rapist or a bigot or you're on Fox TV, then he loves you. And Judge Janine, the alcoholic, oh, I didn't say that out loud. Yep, he's hired her now because she's on Fox News and she's an alcoholic. And he never saw any of Elon's drug use, even though people said that he carried this big thing of pills that had 20 pills in it that he took daily. Trump never saw Elon take any drugs. Yeah. This is where we are in these United States of America. And it's only been 3 months. What the heck? February, March, April, May. We're going on 5 months. Ooh. He's 78 years old. I might outlive him. I want to see the other side of this. Because this side, but everybody keeps asking what will be said about this era in the history books. He's not going to let those books be written. So all of this hoopla and mess that he's doing now, nobody will ever know. He doesn't see his son doing lines either. Nope. Gee, and I thought he was ending the Ukraine war in 24 hours. Right? As soon as he was elected. I didn't even have to wait for inauguration. Yeah, he's a liar. I cannot believe, last thing before we go, because there's nothing we can do about it, but last thing, I cannot believe that the Supreme Court said that he could remove the TPS status for the Venezuelans and deport them. Once you've been given TPS status, it should not be that easily revocable. I'm just saying. I'm back. I think I dozed off in the break room shaking my damn head. AC is very nice. That's okay, baby girl. We got homework and there's always the replay and there's always next week. And I left the links for the videos in the description and I put the link for something or other in the chat and yeah. Trust me, VJ, the truth finds its way. They can't stop it. I trust you. I trust and believe because this is cruel and inhumane punishment. This is not humane. This is not what this country was founded on. And yeah, this is, it's just not good, period. It's just not good. Anyway, the next government should deport his ass back to Scotland. Sorry, Dick. He's from Germany, or his grandfather's from Germany. You just send him to Russia with Putin since they're such great friends. You laughing. Do we have a link for Ola Joe? Is she going live? No, it's not good, really. Yep, she was like, oh, she's been live for 18 minutes. Ooh, hold on. Let me get the link for you. And she is crocheting. God love her heart. Everybody, thank you so very much. Stay safe, be well, and don't forget your homework. We got to keep the faith. Yeah, you know, it's not good. I'm old enough to remember all the book burning and civil unrest. I remember the civil unrest. I don't remember the book burning. I don't remember that. I remember the book burning during World War II, but not over here. Did we do those? Did you touch on them riling back retirement age on people my age? I won't get to retire until 70 if I make it. I did not do that because they're making you wait until 70 now to get full benefits. So yeah, you can retire at 60. You can retire at 62 and get partial. You get a little bit more if you wait until 65, but you do not get your full retirement until you reach 70. Mm-hmm. Thank you. And then there's the link. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Love you all. Take care now.